His legal issues do appear now. They're showing up in these polls. 61% say they believe that while he was vice president, Joe Biden was involved in his son's business dealings in both Ukraine and China. 42% say he did something illegal. 18% say unethical. Important. A majority, 55%, say he's acted inappropriately regarding the investigation into his son. So how much does this matter?
If you see, his numbers are underwater just about everywhere, so there's no question this matters. And the president's hands are essentially tied here. There are a lot of Democrats who have been frustrated for a long time. A, at the Republican prosecutor, why did this go on so long? B, at Hunter Biden, why didn't you try to cut a plea deal in the very early days of the Biden presidency, way, way back? Now this is going to carry through the campaign. Our team reporting, the special counsel filing papers saying he's likely to bring an indictment against Hunter Biden in the days ahead. The president on the record saying he will not talk about anything under the Justice Department purview.
Things are not looking good for Democrats. No, they definitely are not. And they're having a hard time really grasping what's going on here. The media, usually their best friend, seems to kind of be rubbing it in at this point. Erin Burnett, constantly confused on the news, misunderstanding everything that's going on around her. As usual, seems bewildered that Joe Biden's numbers are bad, especially against that damn rogue Donald Trump. And CNN has done something they never do. They sent Manu Raju to Capitol Hill to pester Democrats about what's going on here. Let's go to Erin Burnett out front and watch this wonderful display of coping.
And good evening, I'm Erin Burnett. Out front tonight, Biden wake-up call. A new CNN poll out today shows the president is at risk of losing the election if it were held today. The alarm tonight coming from his own party, the majority of which wants another candidate for president. Biden's fellow Democrats admitting tonight there is a problem.
There's no doubt about it. The polls say what they say.
It's 14 months until an election, and there's a lot of work we have to do.
I think the people basically have spoken loud and clear that they're not happy with the two choices and only two choices.
All right, and let's just drill down on the poll. It does have some ominous details.
By the way, what is she so afraid of? Isn't she a reporter? It really sounds like she's worried about how this is all going for her side. Again, she's a reporter, right? Yeah, she is. And for some reason, she's very worried about how Democrats might get Donald Trump here and stop him. Maybe they won't, Erin. The journalist, right? No. The alarm is coming from these polls. Oh, my God.
Americans say overwhelmingly that the president does not inspire confidence. They say he does not have the stamina and the sharpness. They say that he has not helped the economy. And a majority say he acted inappropriately regarding the investigation of his son Hunter.
So why doesn't the media believe this? Oh, I'll tell you why they don't believe any of it. Because they've been spending so much time telling you the exact opposite on all these things. He's a confident, strong young man out there doing the best for the country, saving the economy, and he did nothing wrong with his son. Okay, fine, his son did something wrong, but he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so he might have done something wrong, but who cares? Of course, the American people are saying, yeah, there's some inappropriate behavior here because it's been obvious from the beginning. You guys haven't attempted to expose that behavior. You've attempted to shield that behavior. That's why you're confounded by these poll numbers that everyone else says, yeah, no kidding.
But what may be most worrisome for many Democrats is that in a head-to-head matchup, Biden and Trump right now are statistically tied, despite what's going on with Trump legally. Biden isn't winning. It's not even, it's a dead heat. In fact, Biden is statistically tied with all the Republican presidential candidates except for one, Nikki Haley, who is beating Biden. And we have a lot to get to tonight, and the reaction from the political world has been swift as this came out. John King's out front at the Magic Wall. And, John, you've had time to kind of go through this, break it down, think about it. The numbers are striking. And as I pointed out, it's not just a headline number. It is detail and depth. How bad is this for Biden?
It's abysmal, Erin.
It's abysmal. That's right. It's abysmal. Because people are starting to see what's actually happening here. They're seeing through the media facade. Erin Burnett is shocked. She is stunned into silence, which probably she should be more often. But she doesn't want to say these things. She has no choice. She's not offering this up as a news report. She's offering this up as a warning to her fellow Democrats. The media and their Democrats are warning you. They're turning on Joe Biden. They want somebody else. That's where this 67% number comes from. And those polls about Republicans, they're bad for the Electoral College for Joe Biden. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
And now let's first insert the caveat. You heard it there from some of the senators as well. 424 days to the November election. So a long time, the White House says, the Biden campaign says, we can turn this around. But he's been on the road for a couple of months talking up Bidenomics. So far, there is zero evidence he is breaking through. Let's just start with the president's own party.
By the way, the breaking through on Bidenomics, it suggests that there's some evidence that Bidenomics is working, and Joe Biden just can't get that message out to the American people. Again, there's a reason they use the words they do. It's not breaking through. No, because it's not true. And once again, much like with the laptop thing, the American media is more interested in hiding the facts from the American people than telling the truth. And again, I keep saying again, it's not working.
You teed this up a bit. This is just Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents, right? The president's base. 2/3 of them want a different candidate. 67% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents say we want a different candidate. Only 1/3 want President Biden to run again. We asked an open-ended question. What's your biggest concern about Joe Biden as a 2024 candidate? Look at that. It's stunning, Erin. These are Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters. These are not Republicans. Half of them say he's too old. If you add up these other numbers, mental competence, health, effectiveness, risk of dying, not being able to serve a second term, that's 74% when you add all that up. Only 5% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters said they had no concerns at all.
Think about that. That is fear of Kamala Harris. That's all that is. All those things are essentially Kamala Harris. We're scared of Kamala Harris. He's too old. He might not die. He won't be able to finish his term. Kamala Harris might take over. They're scared of Kamala Harris, and I love that. I love that. What a great tool.
It tells you that the perception among his base, Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents, is he's not up to the job, and that is affecting how they view him on just about everything.
And you obviously, you point out all those different points, adding them up, right, as you said, to 74% or so, age being the predominant one. But what are the biggest warning signs for Biden now that you see?
So let's walk through it. Number one, don't forget the age issue. It's just huge right now. But how do people feel about the country? He's the incumbent president. He wants 4 more years. How do you feel about the country right now? How are things going? Among all Americans, 7 in 10 say badly. Remember, the president has spent the last 2 months saying Bidenomics is working. Historically low unemployment. Inflation is coming down. More jobs in a first term than any president ever. Well, 7 in 10 Americans still think, as of now, the economy is heading in the wrong direction. And, Erin, this is where it gets stunning. Again, Joe Biden needs Democrats and independents to win the White House, right? Half of Democrats say the country is going badly right now. 7 in 10 independents say things in the country are going badly right now. Those are the voters he needs to win re-election. What about his policies? Have Biden's policies improved or worsened the economy? Again, what has the president been doing the last 2 months? Still, 6 in 10 of all Americans, 58%, say his policies have worsened the economy, made things worse. A quarter of Democrats believe that, Erin. 60%, just shy of 60%. 59% of independents believe that. Again, Democrats and independents are how he wins re-election. It's how he won the White House. And they think, a fair share think it's making things worse. Are you proud to have Joe Biden as president? Kind of a threshold president, right? It's a question, right? Do you want this guy? 2/3 of Americans say no. 37% of Democrats, nearly 4 in 10 Democrats say no, they're not proud. 7 in 10 independents. One more. This gets back to the health issue, the age issue. Does he have the stamina and sharpness to serve? He's asking for 4 more years. 74%, nearly 3/4 of Americans say no, he does not have the stamina and sharpness to serve. Half of Democrats, Erin, again, right now Republicans have a big enthusiasm advantage. Half of Democrats think the president's not up to the job. Nearly 8 in 10 independents think that. 424 days, but that's a lot of repair work to do.
I mean, it is amazing. You look at just to hone on an independence, because everyone talks about how crucial that group is, self-identified, right? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but self-identified, larger than either other group. 8 in 10 of them, right, saying no stamina, 7 in 10 not proud. I mean, it is stunning.
It's only stunning to you. It's not stunning to anyone else. Anyone who's paying attention sees this. We've known this for a long time. We've all been watching this. You've just been pretending it's not happening. And what this is the American people saying, hey, pay attention. This is exactly what's happening. And it's so strange to see them so shocked by this. And they're rattled. Look at them. Look at their faces. They are rattled.
I mentioned that he's in a statistical dead heat with the former President Trump as well as the other Republicans running, except for one, Nikki Haley. She beats President Biden right now in a head-to-head outside the statistical margin of error. I want to play some of the moments that have given her some buzz for.
I don't want to do that. What I will do, though, is point this out. That statistical dead heat they're talking about is really a bad problem for Joe Biden. The polls are not conducted nationally. They're just not. They are conducted the election is not conducted nationally. The polls are conducted nationally. The election is conducted state by state. If those are the numbers, okay, and we're looking at these numbers and they're 47 or whatever it is, Joe Biden's going to be doing real bad in those swing states. Real bad. And he's the incumbent. Donald Trump did not lose by that many votes. Okay? Just remember that. He did not lose by that many votes. If you think it was 100% honest or not, it doesn't matter. He didn't lose by that many votes. If this is how people are feeling, 70% of independents have a problem with where this country is going. They think it's going poorly. And they think the economy's bad. They think Joe Biden's an old man who can't do anything. He is screwed in swing states, whether it's Trump or anyone else. 424 days. They keep telling you that's how much time is left. And they're right about that. But they're worried. They're scared. And they're starting to get to the point where Joe Biden might be looking at coming off the ballot. That could be the thing that's going to happen here. I'm not suggesting that's what's going to happen because obviously we saw the numbers earlier about his age and all these other things. That is about fear of Kamala Harris on the ballot. So they're going to stick with him as long as they possibly have to. But Democrats see this as a huge problem. Later on, I'll put a video out where I want to talk about an interview that Erin Burnett does with Katie Porter. She's a congresswoman. I forget where she's from. It doesn't really matter. And Erin Burnett asked her multiple times, hey, do you want to campaign with Joe Biden? Do you want to campaign with Joe Biden? And Katie Porter, who's supposed to be like this Democrat rising star, California, I believe it is. I think she was considered running for Senate or something. And she really won't answer the question. She talks about their policies and all this other stuff. The whole hook here is they're going to blame Biden. They're going to take him off the ballot. And they're going to pretend that everything's fine. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. Gavin Newsom, I doubt it. Kamala Harris, I doubt it. Joe Biden's already beat Donald Trump once. I think that's why they'll end up possibly keeping him on the ballot. But they are all raising the alarm right now that there is a problem. And CNN is scared. And I like how they're acting like they're sort of above the fray. Oh, geez, golly. The reason you don't understand it is because you haven't been covering it correctly. Hopefully that changes now. And next time the poll numbers come out that show Joe Biden and that he's a loser, you'll maybe be a little better prepared.